Dave is stepping in. He did it toward the end of the week where he had a slot. He's always willing to speak. Dave is very committed to his business. He has a company in the technology world. Dave is very committed to Boy Scouts. He gives lots of time to Boy Scouts. He is, I think he's president or past president of the Downtown Rotary Club.
Current president.
Current president of the Downtown Rotary Club. He's been a solid Toastmaster. He drives from Lee Summit to attend this club on Monday mornings. We appreciate that, Dave. Anyway, I'd like to welcome, don't have a topic for Dave, but welcome Dave McCaughey.
Well, it's that time of year, again, for the great debate. Happy holidays or Merry Christmas. And this has got to be one of the more stupidest arguments that I've seen come up in the last 2 years when it came up. Because really, when it boils down to it, what difference does it make? When I was a kid growing up over in Independence, just on the other side of town from here, I would have been in elementary school in the 1960s. One thing happened that was very, very unique for my background in growing up. There were two families from the Solomon Islands that moved into Independence. Independence became a real magnet for people from the South Seas to come in there, and there's a huge community over there. Well, I still remember this was about 3rd grade for me, and there were 3 of these kids from the Solomon Islands. I wish I could remember the names, but I don't. Other than one of the girls' names was Faith, and she had a twin sister, and they were in my grade. That first year, when the holiday season came around, these 2 young ladies knew absolutely nothing about Christmas at all. You know, they were, I'm not even sure what their religious background was, but they didn't understand anything, and me being their closest friend kept asking me all these questions. Well, that's still at the age where you're somewhat, you don't know if Santa Claus is real or not. And I'm going through that, and then I've got these 2 girls that don't even understand the holiday at all. So that was just kind of a real eye-opening experience for me on how not everybody views the holiday the same way. I also, my dad's oldest sister, she married a Jehovah's Witness, and he was a conscientious objector during the Vietnam War, huge conflict in the family. But Jehovah's Witnesses, even though they're Christian, they do not believe in celebrating the Christmas holiday. Well, my best friend at that time was my cousin, who they did not celebrate Christmas. So every year they would still come to the family gatherings and everything, but they just didn't celebrate Christmas. So that led to just a lot of confusion on, you would get up Christmas morning and have the whole Santa Claus, the gift experience, and then you would meet these other people that wasn't the way of life for them. So that just led to a lot of confusion and eye-opening on my standpoint. So nowadays, when I see these people that either through social media or in the news, whatever, that say they're Christians and they're offended because Merry Christmas, somebody says Happy Holidays to them instead of Merry Christmas, and they take offense by that. I'm like, let's stop for a minute and put the shoe on the other foot. Let's say that you are of Jewish descent, and someone comes up to you and says, Merry Christmas. Wouldn't that person, if you're offended, somebody says Happy Holidays to you, why would that person not be offended when you say Merry Christmas to them? It's just like, so, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying Merry Christmas. To me, it's not a choice between one or the other. There's nothing wrong with using both. Season's greetings, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whichever. To me, it depends more on what company you're with. If I'm with my family and I know they all celebrate Christmas, then it's perfectly fine to say Merry Christmas to those people. If I'm in a room like this with lots of different various backgrounds, and I'm not for sure what holidays are celebrated, I'm much more likely to say either season's greetings or happy holidays. I also run a business, and my client base is all across the world, religious-wise. So when we do our holiday cards that go out this time of year, it's like, do you send out a Merry Christmas card, a Happy Holidays card? We've gone the route of kind of being more on the humorous side. My favorite movie in the world is A Christmas Story. So the last 4 or 5 years, our card that goes out, it has something to do with that movie. So that kind of gets me off the hook on having to pick a particular holiday or designation. But it's just one of those that, when people get behind, oh, it's a First Amendment thing, you know, freedom of speech, people also forget the First Amendment also talks about freedom from religion. You don't have to have this Christian value shoved down your throat, even though, you know, some people proclaim we're a Christian nation. I want to conclude with a quote from President Obama's holiday speech last year from what he gave on Christmas Eve. We will join our fellow Christians around the world to rejoice in the birth of our Savior. And as we retell this story from that holy night, we'll also remember his internal message, one of the boundless love, compassion, and hope. Those are values that help guide not just my family's Christian faith, but that of Jewish Americans and Muslim Americans, non-believers, and Americans of all backgrounds. Isn't that our America's greatness? Our people, not all of whom share the same belief. Season's greetings and happy holidays are ways to wish everyone well and to spread a little love.